Welcome to the Film Junket podcast.
So happy together. What's happening, film nerds? Dave the Film Junkie here. Hey! Look at that. Finally doing a frickin' podcast again. I believe this is the first one of the year, and we're in the middle of February. That's how awesome I am, guys. Yes, welcome to the Film Junket podcast. Not even sure what number episode, 20-something. Yeah, it's been a bit, guys. I apologize. I've been wanting to do them, and I've been wanting to continue doing live podcasts, bringing on a guest, talking to them about things. Gonna continue to do that. It's just, I don't know. I think it's just been craziness past week and a half. Shit. It's been pretty nutty, you know, in real life work and everything, and it's just trying to bring stuff back and just trying to be consistent with everything. It's difficult. It's difficult. You guys know this. I've talked about this many times, but I did get a tool to help me out with that because, I was like, why didn't I think about this first? Well, I mean, this is basically tax return that bought it, but it bought a MacBook. You know, it was just, all of a sudden I had an epiphany. It just hit me on a Friday night. And I usually don't do shit on Fridays because I'm just tired from work. I just want to veg out, finish any kind of video that I have, maybe upload that, and then just like throw on some movies and just relax on a Friday. And usually I'm out even before midnight. Jesus. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I stay up in the wee hours and listen to the coyotes. No, I never hear coyotes. I hear a train all the time. There's a train over here all the time. By the way, tonight's drink is vodka. Smirnoff. Yes, I get the cheap shit. It's whatever. To me, vodka, a lot of it just tastes the same. I got like a more expensive one. I think it was a Swedish vodka. It was good, but there was not much of a difference. I mean, I know Grey Goose is a little more smooth, but I don't know. I'm not going to spring for the, Smirnoff's fine. I was drinking Gentleman's Jack for a bit, sipping on that, for about, a good 3 weeks or so. 2.5 weeks. Anyways, so yeah. What was I even talking about? Oh man, this is what I do. And if you're new to my podcast, yes, this is what's gonna happen. I go off on tangents. Okay, I can't stop. I can't just have one train of thought. I have a million trains of thought. A lot of trains. Train station is my brain and a lot of trains. And by the way, the reason why I opened up, see, this is what I'm talking about. The reason why I opened up singing that song because I was watching Adaptation on Cinemax. I got Cinemax for free this weekend. And if you don't know what that movie is, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It's with Nick Cage. It's a Charlie Kaufman movie. And it's very unique because Charlie Kaufman is very unique. And the fact that the movie is about him trying to adapt a book about an orchid that this lady wrote. He's trying to adapt it, and he can't do it because it's so boring that he ends up writing a screenplay about him writing a screenplay. It's awesome. It's funny how that is. So it kind of breaks a fourth wall-ish kind of thing in a way, but not really because he doesn't really talk to the camera or nothing. It's interesting. It's almost like a fifth wall, third wall. I don't know what that is. But it's a good flick. Nick Cage plays Charlie Kaufman very well, by the way. I think he got nominated for something when this movie came out. It was like early 2000s it came out. But it's good stuff. Charlie Kaufman, I mean, he wrote one of my all-time favorite movies, which is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I mean, that guy's a nutcase. I mean, he just comes up with some crazy shit, and I absolutely love it. But he also looks like he drives himself insane trying to come up with stuff. That's the thing. That's one thing about being creative. You could really drive yourself batty. I mean, I have my moments where I'm going, what am I doing? You suck. Nothing you do is funny. Some people actually might agree to that, and that's fine. But as long as the majority, and as long as I keep getting new subscribers and new people following me, I guess I'm doing something right, you know? As long as everything is still... I mean, I know, and I apologize, guys, but there's nothing we can do about it, sadly. I'm not going to just, like, close my comment section, but I know that sometimes I open up the comments in my videos, and wow, it's a war zone. It's a fucking war zone. It seems like there's always, like, the same few Marvel fanboys that just want to just do nothing but, you know, shit on everything I'm saying and then start shit. And I know you guys come to my defense and start saying stuff, and it goes back and forth. And I mean, to me, it's like, I don't care, because these guys are coming back and they keep on giving me views. Hey, whatever, that's fine. I mean, if you guys want to, you know, have a little debate with these fucking weirdos, that's fine, do it. But, you know, if you choose not to, you choose not to. I don't really read my comments anymore, because it just gets to the point of, I mean, even though in my videos I say comment down below, I still want you guys to comment. I still want people to discuss things underneath my videos. But, you know, it could be difficult when you just see in a war zone all the time. And I even, you know, there's even bots. I saw one time, like, the same comment underneath a video like 5 times. It's just crazy, you know. And hey, these people have nothing else, nothing better to do with their lives than to just shit on videos and say, hey, you're a piece of shit, you're annoying, go kill yourself. By the way, I don't freak out when I get a death threat. I don't freak out like some fucking idiots out there who call the FBI. Yes, I'm talking about Jeremy Conrad, who's a fucking douchebag, by the way. He finally blocked me. It was only a matter of time, because when the Venom trailer came out and he was totally unimpressed by it, he was totally going to shit on this movie before it came out anyways, because it's not linked to the MCU. That's pretty much the main reason. And he was tweeting out some juvenile shit. The guy's a little bitch. He's a big bitch, I should say. Because, yeah, he called the FBI when he got a couple of death threats. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Start a YouTube channel. See how many death threats you get then, buddy. You're gonna be fucking barricaded in your house, you pussy. Jesus Christ, I get death threats all the time. I don't freak out. I bet you he calls his mom, too. Yeah, and he was just tweeting out a bunch of... He would not stop. There was like 87 tweets about how shitty the Venom movie is going to be and how shitty the trailer was. And I retweeted one of them because he said, I don't know, he said something which didn't make sense. What he likes to do is he likes to appease to the trolls, and he claims he gets frustrated at these trolls, even though like more than half of his followers always support him, but he's always like leering down at the trolls like he's so much better than they are. The guy's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. And, you know, and then there was other people too. I mean, that was a weird day, but, yeah, calling the FBI. Who was the other guy? Snyder. He was reporting to the FBI getting death threats. Grow a fucking pair, you goddamn pussies. Jesus Christ. God, it's so ridiculous. I swear, it's like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But what can you do? But yeah, it's been pretty crazy, guys. If you even follow me on social media, in reality work world, I actually went to Portland twice because we do projects for other companies, and there's a company in Portland that wants us to handle some projects, and it's like, wow. I mean, I was besides myself, because I'm like, wow, I'm going on a business trip, all paid for, hotel room, flights, food, a lot of everything, pretty much, rental car. I'm like, how the hell did I get here? I felt like a fucking grown-up for... I mean, you know how you have moments? Most of the time, I don't feel like a goddamn grown-up. I feel like I'm still 16 years old. Mainly because I talk about people in tights and capes all the time. That's probably the main reason why I don't feel like a fucking grown-up. But I was feeling like a grown-up. You know, they sent me up the first time by myself because my boss was out of commission, and I'm like his right-hand man. And, yeah, I got sent up there, and it sucked, too, because I was getting over sickness. And it was a long day, because it was like, you know, day travel. And it's just crazy. It was just weird. And Portland, yes, it's very wet and very cold up there. I have a friend who lives up there, which was awesome, because the first time I went up there, friends, I should say, not plural. They're a couple. And I got to meet up with them. We had some sushi and shit. It was awesome. But, you know, I mean, it'd be difficult to live up there. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Because I went last year for shits and giggles to visit those friends. And that was like during like the end of summer into fall. and everything was beautiful. The weather was great. It was just a great time. But I went up there and it's just cold and wet, and pretty much during the winter, I mean, the same thing with like Washington, and everything too, is it rains for like 4 goddamn months straight. I don't know how you can live with that. My friend said the first, he moved up there like a year ago, a year and some change, and he said it rained for 4 straight months, and he was depressed. And I've heard that a lot of people too, like, oh yeah, you have to get used to it. You just want to kill yourself. You just want to kill yourself. So don't move to Portland unless you want to, for the first couple of winters, you're gonna want to, have a bath with the toaster. You might want to. I don't know. However you want to do it. But no, it's beautiful up there. And then like almost a week later, or like pretty much a little over a week later, we had to go up there again to get more details. And this time I went with my boss. But it's just crazy. I just felt so much like a grown-up. And it's funny too, because the field that I'm in, the first job I had, which I got laid off from, and then I got rehired, and then I got fired because I'm not going to go into the details of certain things. And, I internalized. I wasn't saying it was all of them, but, partly, yes, there's things I shouldn't have been doing, but at the same time, there was also people trying to get me fired. And the guys with certain things that were happening, which was me boinking no, not boinking. I was in an actual relationship with the admin chick in the front. We actually had a long relationship too. It wasn't like just a fling thing. Anyways, besides the point, of course they didn't like that. And yeah, they were trying, it was almost like they just any excuse to get me out. And there was one guy I think they pretty much tasked him to get anything on me where they could fire me. And it's funny too, because I almost want to like I want to send an email or something to those guys, be like, look at me now, assholes! Yeah, business trip. Company I work for, which pays me like twice as much as you guys paid, sending me up, talking, multi-million-dollar project going on. We're doing. I'm there, right on front. Yes, that sounded very arrogant and everything. But, it's just funny how things work out. It's one of the things that, there's many moments in life where shit just feels like it's like it couldn't be worse. Shit couldn't be worse. Everything sucks. You can't see the other side, but you just got to be patient sometimes. You got to power through those rough times, because I went through a rough time. When I got fired, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with myself. I was thinking I was about to move to Vegas. I was fighting to get unemployment. Didn't know if I was going to make rent. I had to ask my parents for money. I had to get a loan from my parents. I was in a really shitty place, and this was like, and then, not even too long before that, me and that girl who worked there too, we broke up. So, I mean, I was in a shit creek. Does that even make sense? I think there's actually a fucking show that's called Schitt's Creek or something like that, but not spelled like that. But I was just in a fucking, I was in a pond in a creek. It was full of shit. And I was just, I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. But then, I just fucking picked myself up. I swallowed my pride, asked for a loan from my parents because I didn't want to do that. Got everything back, and then I got another job, and then I got a better job, and which is the job I have now. And then that even got better, and look at that. Now all of a sudden I'm like getting flown up to a different city to talk about certain things, getting set up with a rental car. You just, it's just one of those things where, when shit just gets really, you're basically balls deep in shit, there's a chance, just get, strap on those boots and just fucking power your way out of that, and I did. And I must say, I'm proud of myself for that. So that was cool. And yeah, I also got a little bit, I know that flu bug is going around. I didn't get the full-on flu bug. One thing about me is I don't get sick that often. I got a pretty damn strong immune system. Not to mention I try to divert all that. I try to drink a lot of vitamin C and everything, if that's all going around. But I got a version of it. I got the version that just fucks your sinuses up. It was just retarded. Where I just, my face, I got kind of a big head cold kind of thing and a little bit of a cough. And I mean, and you guys heard it in some of my videos and stuff, and it stayed there for a bit. I mean, I was blowing my nose, and there'd be blood in it sometimes. I was starting to get a little worried, but it all went away. And I even talked to friends who were like, "Oh yeah, it was fucking up my sinuses too. I saw that too. It was just that bug. These bugs, man, they're getting stronger, man. Flu bugs, influenza. Sounds so majestic. Influenza." But it's getting powerful. It's getting powerful. Now, all right, so let's start talking about some shit, okay? I mean, I know I could talk about a lot of things that have happened in the past since I've had a podcast where I talk just myself. Let's talk about the Black Panther hype insanity. Not just the hype. The hype's fine. Normal hype, fine. I love it when we hype up movies. That's fine. But the insanity. Woke fucking Twitter going insane about some of this shit. And it's just, I mean, this was happening during Wonder Woman, you know? Not as bad, but it was happening. You know, you're sexist if you don't like this movie, just stuff like that. But then, of course, they were trying to go after Wonder Woman for crazy stuff, you know? Like shaved armpits and goddamn diet fucking protein bars. It was absolutely ridiculous. Black Panther didn't see this. It just saw a bunch of woke people and white guilty people that are just like losing their goddamn minds. It's a fucking movie. It's a superhero movie. And people are making it seem like this is like, oh, I mean, there was a picture that I saw that somebody took where people were raising their fists when the fucking movie started. I'm going, okay, I mean, I don't have any problems with people dressing up to go to the movies. Wear whatever the fuck you want or anything. But goddamn, this isn't real. And a lot of people and headlines were talking about Wakanda like it's a real place. And then people were like, oh, you shouldn't say it's not real. It's fucked up. I'm like, why? There's no problem. I get it. I get, even though I don't, you know, when people are claiming that it's the first black superhero, and I'm like, fuck you. I'm, you know, the first big time black superhero. I mean, you could count Meteor Man. You could count Blank Man. You could count Black Dynamite if you wanted to. But, you know, I'm just saying, like, when it comes to superheroes, Blade was number one. That movie is fucking awesome. The first Blade movie. It was rated R. It made money. It was a success. But a lot of people are, you know, well, you know, it goes to my theory that nobody remembers shit that happened before 2012. The Mayans had it right. They knew the end of the world was going to start at 12/20/2012. 12/21/2012? Whatever the fuck it was. Anyways, yeah, that was stupid. And then not to mention Spawn, and you can mention a bunch of others. But then it went as far as like the blockbuster. Like, oh yeah, it's crazy. You never see like, oh yeah, a blockbuster with a black lead. I'm like, Will Smith says hi. Jamie Foxx says hi. Denzel Washington says hi. It's like, what the fuck? You guys want to be so progressive so badly, and you want this movie to be just like the king of all movies that you'll just flat out lie or just negate certain things like research or anything. You won't have any integrity. I mean, I literally saw, like, when I tweeted out something where I said, like, this is the first movie where there's a black lead, where they're not a maid or a slave or something like that. I'm going, again, Will Smith says hi. Oh, and you know who's usually tweeting out this nonsense? White people. Now, a lot of people will claim that racism is just like that America is just full of racists. It's a racist fucking country. It's the worst it's ever been. And those people are goddamn fucking delusional because it's not. It was way worse back then. And you know what's funny is, like, nowadays it's like, yes, racism is always going to be there, okay? Always going to be there. I know a lot of people think like, oh my God, this needs to stop. It's like, yes, we get that, but it's never going to stop. There's always going to be pieces of shit out there that are going to fucking hate everybody who's not their race, okay? There's always going to be that. But for every racist person there is, every racist white person there's about fucking 17 white people that will overcompensate for that one racist person, okay? And these are the white guilty people who didn't want to fucking buy a ticket to Black Panther because they didn't want to steal black joy from people. So they're like, can I wait till next weekend? Can I wait? Yes, somebody actually tweeted that out. I tweeted it out. She has since deleted it. Some people thought it was a troll, but no, I actually looked at her Twitter and she was serious. But that just shows you right there. For one racist, shaved head, swastika wearing, piece of shit America guy, there's like 20-something people that will compensate for that guy and overcompensate to the max. There is literally, I saw a YouTube video that made me sick. This one young black kid, I forgot what his name was, literally he set out and found these white guilty young white people to pay him reparations for slavery every month. He was making a video talking about this and showing them, like, why do you pay me and this, that, and this. He literally gets payment from these white kids, these white kids who are rich, obviously, because they go to these colleges and they have money, even though they claim that they don't have shit. He gets payment from them all the time. And he was like fucking showing it off, like, yeah, that's right, bitch, you gotta pay me. It's like, get the fuck out of here. It's crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of, and there were some people saying like, yeah, white people shouldn't be able to review Black Panther. It's like, really? What the fuck? White people should stay out of, black people's way on opening weekend? It's like, hello? You realize that white people are over 60% of the population? You wanted none of them to pay for a ticket? Guess what? That box office is not going to look as good as it did. But again, there's a lot of people who think that's nonsense. A lot of people don't give a fuck. When I went and saw it, there was a mix of people there, which is always the case. It's never like, it never teeter-totters with every movie. I see, this is what frustrates me. I always tell people, America's so bad. Go to the fucking mall and see what you see. You see everybody, you see men and women, all races, religions, everything, walking around, able to purchase whatever they want. They can walk into any store. They don't get denied. Everybody's okay. Nobody's fighting. Yes, I'm sure fights do happen, but everybody is fine. Just sit there at the food court and be like, look at this. Look at this. That's America right there. It's a mix of all kinds of people, and we're fine. But if you go online, people are making it seem like this is the worst goddamn country in the world. Oh, and they won't fucking leave. They will never leave. Because you could tell them, well, why don't you go live over there? They won't do it. Of course not. It's just like when the celebrities said that they were going to move to Canada if Trump got elected. And all that told me was you're so narcissist. You are so full of yourself that you think that if you threaten to leave this country, if this guy gets elected, that you're going to sway votes. I lost respect for Sam Jackson. I still love the guy, but I lost respect for him for saying that shit. It's fucking retarded. But the Black Panther stuff, it got a little insane. It really did. And it's fine. I understand the representation and everything. And, I'm totally with that. It's fine. I'm glad that it's finally out there. I mean, I get sick of the other side of it, too, where DC fans keep on saying, like, yeah, there's fucking 18 or 19 white leads in the movie before this. It's like, shut up. Every one of those movies had black characters in it, mixed characters. Yes, hey, sorry. Back in the early, in the 30s and 40s and 50s, when these characters were created, yes, there was more white people. There was segregation. There was shit happening. There was white comic book creators, and guess what? They created characters, and they drew them white. So, hey, guess what? That's just what's going to happen. That's why a lot of the main characters are white. Now, sometimes you could change it up. You could change it up a little bit if it works. For instance, Aquaman. That works. Nobody really, Aquaman fans and certain people didn't like the fact that Jason Momoa got cast as Aquaman because he doesn't look like him. He's not blonde-haired, blue-eyed. But the fact of the matter is, it fucking works. And it's okay with the majority of people because it just makes sense that he would be Hawaiian, Polynesian, whatever the heck he is, that he's brown and he's half something else and half something, because he is half human and half Atlantean. It really just worked. And who do we have to thank for that? Zack Snyder. Oh, man. So that was Zoe Bell. That's that movie. Whip It, about the roller girl chicks. I love Zoe Bell. That's her last name, I think, right? Zoe Bell? I think so. She's a stunt chick who's also an actress. Tarantino movies. She was in Death Proof. She's just got such a cutie fucking pretty face, and she's just badass. God damn, fit lady. She's got some guns too. Anyways, yeah, the Black Panther stuff, there's a lot of things that gotta know. Just another thing too is like, somebody just tweeted like, Ryan Coogler, man, 3 out of 3, with Fruitvale Station and Creed and Black Panther. Has there ever been another director that's done that? It's like, yes, there has. Can you praise it without going, that's never happened before? That's what annoys me about this shit. Is they're making it seem like this is the first. That's why people are getting annoyed. It's like, no, it's not. You could praise it, but hey, be legitimate. And what do I always say, guys? Have some integrity, man. It's like, yes, there was many directors that their first 3 movies were critically acclaimed and they were successful. Jesus. Spielberg, Tarantino, fucking Denis Villeneuve. I can never say his name. Hell, I guess you can't say Christopher Nolan. His first movie, nobody really knew, but after that. But it's just like, can we just praise Ryan Coogler for being awesome? The guy made an indie movie, and it was powerful, and it got praised. And then all of a sudden he was given Creed, the 7th movie in a franchise that was about one guy, okay? And then it was like, okay, we're going to make a newer one that's not going to be really about that one guy. It's going to be about this other guy. And he fucking hit it out of the park. That movie shouldn't have been successful. But guess it was. It was. I shouldn't say that. It shouldn't have been as acclaimed and as successful, I guess you could say. It should have just been like, oh yeah, it's another Rocky movie. Another Rocky movie in the world. But Coogler did something special with it. Okay, now he's getting brought into the Marvel Cinematic Universe to do a superhero flick, which is not something new. Origin, not something new. And he did a great job. You saw my review. I didn't love the movie. I was hoping to love the movie a lot more than it was. But there were certain elements where I was like, sometimes I went, that's not Coogler right there. That's not Coogler right there. I know there was some fucking studio involvement. Coogler has a style that he's developing. He has a voice. And I think some of that shit in that third act and the jokes that were in there, some of the forced ones, most of the humor is fine. Especially from like the little sister and the guard chick. They were good. But there's some other ones where it's just, that's not Coogler. That's Marvel going, we need a joke right there. You can fight me on that all you want. But I'm just going by the filmmaker. I'm going by his past movies. Okay? A lot of Coogler in there, but there is some studio involvement. That's what fucking sucks about these big studios and about these big movies. Is they get worried. They can't just obviously we know that this is a huge thing, which is going to lead me right into what I wanted to talk about next. The Snyder Cut! Oh, God, it's been fucking crazy. It's been crazy, guys. We got Fiona. She did a great job by creating a new website that's dedicated to that, so fans can go there, post stuff, and everything. And, a lot of people are making fun of it, and they shouldn't, because it's just people discussing it. And I know, certain, douches out there, Jeremy Conrad, doesn't think it exists and won't ever exist because it would cost $70 million to finish and blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's cute. But with everything that we know, with Snyder basically, it looked like he almost had picture lock pretty much going into the beginning of the year of 2017, doing ADR, doing visual effects, the color palette and everything, set and all that. I would say a lot of it does exist. And who knows what's happening? Who knows where that footage is? Okay, we're going to get some of it on the Blu-ray, which we already seen, which is just Superman stuff, which is beautiful. Beautiful. God, those scenes are fucking gorgeous. Just like, it's perfect trilogy formula. You harken back to the first movie in the third movie because you show the character and where he has come, where he started and where he's come. In Man of Steel was the birth, in Justice League was the rebirth. Showing the doors open and him coming out in his brand new suit. I wonder if he he didn't struggle to fly because he was fine. But it's just, God damn it. And then him going to Alfred and Alfred saying, Master Kent. Ah! Oh, Master Kent. It's so good. I still want to know why Alfred was working on that car, though, while the Justice League was heading over to basically die. Maybe it was just like a lot of people were going, like, yeah, what's going on right there? And I'm like, yeah, I want to know the context of that scene, too. Why would Alfred just be working on a car while it's like, hey, you realize your boy is going to fight like a god with all these other gods. But maybe, they were flying halfway around the world, so he was just killing time, doing an Alfred thing. That's fine. So, but, yeah, the Snyder Cut. Jesus Christ. It's funny. Does it exist? Well, some people are, saying some stuff like they think that I know something or, whatnot. Take a drink. You hear things, you talk to people. When that storyboard with Darkseid and stuff like that came out, it's just might have kind of knew something about it beforehand. But I'm not saying like where I found out from was the actual source. But that day, I just kind of went, oh shit, and everything. So it's, I might know some things that, who knows? Does it actually exist? Does 3.5 hours of the movie exist? Possibly. Who knows? The actors sure know. We've heard things from various sources saying that they approached the actors saying like, hey, what's going on with that Snyder Cut, director's cut, whatever. Ciarán Hinds, which I never say his name right, he said that wasn't the movie that he fucking was cast for. He hopes there is a director's cut. Apparently Ray Fisher said he can't say anything. The cast can't say anything. But something's going to happen where they're going to end up saying something. Just imagine. Jason Momoa is going to have to start, not soon, obviously, but pretty soon, next few months, he's going to have to start promoting Aquaman. I would say when it comes Comic-Con time, he's going to get asked those questions about the Snyder Cut and stuff like that. If something hasn't come out by then and stuff. I don't know. It's crazy, but yeah, that storyboard was pretty big. Showed that there was a Darkseid appearance in the movie. And a lot of people, it was just funny, like, oh, fuck, why would there, I'm glad that it wasn't in there. It wouldn't have made sense. It would have been convoluted and stupid. Yeah, what, they're going to tease Darkseid, just similar to how the MCU teased Thanos, and then we don't see him till, like, fucking 7-8 years later? You really have to explain this? I'm so glad that the Deathstroke Luthor scene made it into the movie because that just shows you that they're thinking about the Legion of Doom. That's going to come later, so that makes sense. Oh yeah, because the Darkseid cameo makes no fucking sense. It only continues the nightmare sequence in Batman vs. Superman. Then it also leads to maybe, hey, in Justice League 2, we will see Darkseid, which we would have saw Darkseid and the anti-life equation. Which was probably The anti-life equation was probably teased in Justice League, guys. There might be an Easter egg in there somewhere about that. But we'll never know now. We won't. We can only just talk about certain things. It's frustrating. It really is. But when people say that stuff, it's like, no. This was continuing the nightmare scene. Darkseid was already teased in Batman vs. Superman. Duh. And it's like, what, you're glad this scene wasn't in there? This would explain why that nightmare sequence was in Batman vs. Superman. It would have continued it. You got to realize that Darkseid was going to be revealed and come into play in a much different way than Thanos. When they first showed Thanos, it was just, hey, he turns around and smiles. That was just to give the fanboys a boner. You know how many people didn't know who the fuck that was in Avengers? A lot of people didn't know who the fuck that was. But with Darkseid in the DCEU, it was leading up to that. It was all unfolding and explaining in such a way that Snyder likes to do it, and Chris Terrio, but people want instant gratification. They don't want to think. They don't want to do anything. They just, when it comes to these movies, it has to be this way. And it sucks that that's the case. James Mangold is totally being vocal about how that is the case. How these movies are. It's crazy. So does the Snyder Cut exist? Does 3.5 hours of a Snyder Cut exist? Maybe. He has his own production company. Who knows what he's doing with that footage? It's hard to. I put on Justice League, and you know what, guys? I'm gonna do a watch. I'm gonna do a Justice League watch. I'm gonna power through and commentate on watching Justice League like I've been doing with the MCU movies for the Infinity War Challenge. I'm gonna do it. I don't know when, but I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be difficult. Because there's just so many things that just make me frustrated. So goddamn frustrated. See what happens, guys. More things keep coming out. I mean, yeah, the Dickey tweet saying they got fired over a year ago. The time frame of that's off. I think they didn't technically fire him. They just try to force him out. They just force him out. They try to use any means necessary. The Joss Whedon Batgirl thing was, I think, part of a cover. I still think he might be doing it, but I think that was part of the cover as well. Like, hey, he's going to come in and kind of punch up Justice League while Zack Snyder deals with his tragedy. And he's also going to do Batgirl. Fucking ginger prick. Don't get me wrong. I still like that opening Batman scene. It's not bad. It's not bad. But it's out of place. That's the only thing. It's out of fucking place. Because then it's like, hey, Alfred, let's power up the jet. We're going to go find Arthur. And all of a sudden I have a beard that would normally take me 2 weeks to grow is on my face. Fucking, oh, God. So goddamn stupid. And then, of course, the continuity of the goddamn Superman suit, which I explained in a video, and then I even said it on Twitter. It's like, okay, that Superman suit for Justice League, they added some chrome padding, which I'm not a big fan of. I was fine with how the suit was before. But, okay, cool, it's fine. In certain lighting, it looks kind of cool. It's like metallic. I get that. That's fine. But in direct sunlight, which are two scenes shot by Mr. Whedon, the opening scene and then the Flash race scene, it looks like shit. It looks like fucking... What the fuck does it... I don't know. It just looks... Just looks like... It just frustrates me how bad it looks. And what's sad about that is... It's like, okay, so where did Superman get this new suit? I mean, obviously, yes, with superhero movies, every time they do a sequel, they always kind of dick with the suit, make it a little bit more, they make it better. But it was going to be explained that, hey, the reason why Superman's suit is a little more, just pops, is because, yeah, he found it on that scout ship, which was deleted from the movie. So then when we see him in that opening goddamn cell phone footage, he's got the new suit, but this was before he died. So then you go back to the Doomsday fight and everything like that, and the fucking suit isn't popping out. Like, they didn't care about continuity worth of goddamn shit. Ugh. Ugh. It's so fucking frustrating with all that. I mean, it's just they didn't care about continuity. It's like, you guys realize there's a different suit when he was fighting Doomsday and before all that, fighting Batman. It's not the same suit. It's ridiculous. But whatever. They don't give a shit. They're just trying to get it out there and get it over with. It's like, if you're just going to fucking, like, get it out there and be like, whatever, you might as well just release Snyder's cut. I don't know why. Why? I mean, I think it's mainly has to do with that ball cap wearing fucking comic book writer who thinks he can make movies, who thought he was going to be the Feige number 2. Yeah, that didn't happen there, Geoff. Ugh. What else I want to talk about? Yeah, well, I was going to, like, touch base on reality stuff. I mean, yeah, we had another mass school shooting, which is shitty. It's really bad. But of course, you know, people just start going with the political stuff, and that's where I just hate it. I mean, just bickering back and forth. You got one side going, you know, mental illness, don't blame the guns, and then you got one say, we need gun control. And I'm sitting there going looking at the two going, can we look at both? Please? Can we just come to an agreement that we need to look at both? Okay, now, there is gun control, first off. In California, Jesus Christ. And I think a lot of people who are like, gun control, we need gun control, they never bought a gun before. It's, especially in California and a lot of other places, it's a pain in the ass. There's such a wait, background checks. And I know a lot of people think like you could just walk into a gun show and just walk out with a gun. I think some people think that. You can't. Yeah, if you actually go to a gun show, you can't just walk out with a gun. They still do everything with everything, blah, blah, blah. I don't own a gun myself. I think eventually I will, just, you know, some added protection. But I have, you know, family members who own a lot of guns. And they've explained the process. They've said all this and said all that, you know. Everybody talks about the AR-15. Nobody needs that gun. But at the same time, I mean, I think a lot of people think the AR-15 is full-on automatic, like you hit the trigger and it just goes. It doesn't. I mean, if it makes that noise, that's a fast trigger finger that somebody has. It's one shot, one trigger kind of thing. But I think a lot of people, you know, with movies and shit like that, they just have this. They have this illusion that it's just a full-on machine gun. And so, like, more gun control, I don't know if that's going to actually do much of anything. I mean, they really got to, like, break, you know, when it comes to that, background checks, they really got to look carefully for sure. But at the same time, yes, mental illness is always a case too, because these people are fucking sick. And what's really gross about this shooter was the FBI was already looking into his case because he's been reported many times. And it's just like, okay, can we start there too? Can we look at that as well? And somebody dropped the ball with that. He was reported before. He said it on a YouTube post that he was going to be a school shooter. There's many factors, but I just love the back and forth, and you know, this happens. Oh, Trump he didn't call a press conference within 5 minutes. He's a piece of shit. I'm going, okay, the guy's a piece of shit for other reasons. Can we just relax on certain... I just love how everybody will just push back on anything the guy does. He does nothing good. And I mean, I don't fully agree with that. First off, a lot of the things that he says and does, I laugh my ass off because he's a character. He's a character, and so is his hair. His hair is also a character. So I kind of laugh my ass off with some of the things that he says because some of it's really retarded. Some of it's like, oh shit, he fucking said that. And then, you know what? I'm not going to lie that I'm happy that I'm getting about $80 more a month on my on my pay. Because of his tax cut. That was supposed to be really evil. I kept hearing how evil it was. They're just putting money in the rich are just getting richer. And you hear about all these stories, which you won't hear from like some of these celebrities who are making a bunch of money, by the way, and who are probably, getting a lot more when it comes tax time. They're saying that, oh yeah, these CEOs are just, they're getting deeper pockets because of this tax cut. And I've heard so many things about companies giving bonuses to their employees because of it, giving $1,000. I think the guy who owns South Point in Vegas, they said that he was able to give like bonuses to his employees. Apple is going to be opening more jobs over here because they were offshore, and that's how, that lucrative little business, that little fucking, they loopholes, they don't get taxed, the corporate tax, because they were doing everything outsourced and overseas and everything. But now that they got a little break, they're like, okay, we're going to bring jobs back. Unemployment's down, I can't complain about certain things. I just wish the guy would stop tweeting and stop playing goddamn golf and stop eating fucking McDonald's all the time, you fat ass. Jesus. I just don't get it. I mean, I guess that's where Obama was good, because he was tall, dark, and handsome. That guy was a handsome man. Spoke well and everything. I mean, he did bad shit too. Don't get me wrong. Every president's not fucking flawless. Are you kidding me? He did a bunch of terrible shit too, and he said a bunch of stupid shit as well. But, I mean, that guy was tall, dark, and handsome. Fit. Come on, that's a president you want to see. Sadly, that's not Trump. But, at the same time, I could still say, hey, thank you for allowing me to take more money home on my paycheck. That helps me out a lot. I'm just a blue-collar worker trying to fucking make ends meet. All right, we're already like 45 minutes into this damn thing. Let's talk about. Let's get some questions going on here, all right? Which I asked, which you guys can always ask me. Just use the Film Junket podcast hashtag if you're gonna ask me a question on here. And here we go. Nasir, I can never say your last name. I apologize. You know I'm really bad. He says, hey, Dave, any choices for the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel villain? I'd go with Kraven, the Hunter, and I know it sounds crazy, but I would cast Daniel Craig in the role. That's interesting. That's an interesting cast. I, too, want that, because there's a dark story that has to do with Kraven out there in the Spider-Man world, which they could take, okay, you had Spider-Man Homecoming, which I enjoyed, by the way. A lot of people are shitting all over it. I actually enjoyed it. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but a lot of people are shitting all over it, and they're just like, all of a sudden, Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 they're good movies now. And I'm going, no, they're fucking not. There's elements in Spider-Man 3 that are great. Like, Sandman was great. Okay, the whole thing with Harry Osborn, fucking retarded. The marriage proposal thing, Venom, fucking retarded. Absolutely terrible. But the Sandman stuff was pretty good. And yes, there's a good fight scene between him and Sandman. I'll give it that. But the fucking emo shit and the dancing, fuck you. Spider-Man 3 is horrible. Except for certain things. Amazing Spider-Man 2, same thing. A lot of great visuals, a lot of things. Took risks, like killing Gwen. Yeah, I almost said Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stacy. That whole thing, I couldn't believe that they actually did it, and that whole scene is absolutely magnificent and beautiful. Mark Webb did a great job with all that, but Rhino was fucking retarded, Electro was retarded, and I mean, Goblin, not as bad, more accurate, I guess you could say, than Dafoe's, because he was actually turning into that, and he had to laugh and everything, but that movie just was horrible. It had a lot of horrible moments in it. Anyways, I would go with Kraven too, actually. I would go with Kraven and then maybe somebody else in there. Who else? I don't know. I want them to start setting up some like a Doc Ock presence. I don't know. I just start laying some Easter eggs. But yeah, I actually like the Craven. I like Craven. I'm with you on that. And Daniel Craig is an interesting choice. A lot of people were like, hey, Jason Momoa. I think even Tom Holland was talking about that. But yeah, I totally agree. Craven. Ozlik. If Flashpoint reboots the DCEU, what films do you think should be used to restart it? Man of Steel? I don't want them to Okay. Man of Steel 2, first off, yes. But if they reboot, I don't know. They should do that. It's so weird because Wonder Woman 2 is going to come out before that. No, they should do Superman. They should do a Batman movie. And then Green Lantern Corps would also be a good one too, to help restart that. Yeah, I get that. And Ozak also asked, who would you choose to direct Justice League 2 aside from Zack? George Miller. Why not? He already tried to do a Justice League movie. Why not give him a chance again? George Miller, 100%. Give him the fucking job. You know, I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head but George Miller. Clayton, what is it? Clayton. He asked, what are you expecting from the Titans TV show and the DC streaming service as a whole? Really, Titans TV show costumes are looking fucking awesome. I'm thinking that it's going to be better. It's going to be better than the Arrowverse, but not as good, of course, as the DCEU. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting some good stories. I'm expecting some good characters and some great costumes, which you've already seen. The DC streaming service, looking forward to that because we'll be able to watch everything DC on one service. No problem with that. So I'm expecting that to be pretty damn good as well. Majin Guka Black. Goku Black. Gaku. So bad with names. Sorry. Your 3 picks for someone portraying Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne as in a live-action Flash film for DC. My first choice is Kevin Bacon, and I absolutely love that casting choice. You guys have some good casting choice. I would also choose him. Kevin Bacon can play he could play such a fucking villain. Look at Hollow Man. There's other movies too that I can't think of right now. I mean, obviously, X-Men First Class comes to mind, but he's got range and he could play a piece of shit. So I like that. I also liked Matthew McConaughey. You know what I actually like too? I don't know why. I think an Aaron Eckhart would actually work as well too. I think he could. I mean, he showed his villainous as Two-Face. Bring him in as Reverse Flash. Get somebody with a predominant chin in that cowl. I don't know. For some reason, I like Aaron Eckhart too. It's good stuff. James, Society of Snyder. He asks, this question is open to everyone. Should DC focus on their core characters to build some relationship with the audience? I mean, they have been for years. But yeah, I think that's what they're really doing. I mean, they did with Wonder Woman. They knocked it out. That Wonder Woman 2 is going to be happening. I think Aquaman's going to be up there too. Shazam as well. So I think that's what they really are kind of doing. And then he says, or go full creator driven and just let any good director come in and tell their story, whether it's Elseworld or continuity. I want that too. I don't mind the Elseworld stuff. Man, I still got to make that video where I had an idea of how they could just be unique to Marvel and other universes. Haven't got to it yet. I'll get to it soon though, guys. Binary Sunset asks, what are your thoughts on the MCU killing off most of its villains? Do you think we'll ever see the Avengers go up against a group of supervillains? I'd hope so, but you're right. They do tend to do that. And, Black Panther, spoiler alert, stop it now if you haven't watched the damn thing. Okay? Stop it now or fast forward about a minute. Yeah, they killed off both the villains in that fucking movie, and I was kind of disappointed in that. I was like, why would you killed off Claw, his arch nemesis, and you killed off Killmonger. Yes, you could bring him back, which that tends to happen, but stop it. I would hope so. They're binary. I would hope so, but whatever. Quantum Surge asks, would you like to be in a crossover of sorts with fellow YouTubers like Film Gob? Absolutely. Me and Gob have talked many times. He takes more of a DC stance than I do. I'll give him that. So, but I like some of the videos. Some of the videos that he puts out, he takes his time and he puts out some pretty damn good stuff. And I wish I could have that time to just concentrate on a video and make like quality, some more better quality. But I mean, I do with what I can. I mean, my videos are strictly more like, hey, I'm going to talk about this. This is my formula. This is my style of doing it. Here you go. I'm going to bring back other, segments that I've had in my YouTube career, your Casual Batman for one of them. Don't worry, he's coming back. I got so many ideas for that guy. Redundant movie news, I'm going to bring that back. The autocorrects, just stuff like that. But I'm always open to collaborate and, do whatever with fellow YouTubers out there. Always, just hit me up and I'm down, Munga 2018. Munga, I love that. Demon's Toxin. Will Thanos make the universe great in Infinity War? Munga 2018. I think that's what he thinks, for sure. Is he going to be wearing a red hat? Cover that bald fucking head of his. Vani Taha. I'm so bad. Your thoughts on Dylan O'Brien as Nightwing or Red Hood? Like it a lot. I think that guy can. I still have to watch that Assassins movie he was in with Michael Keaton, because he's showing some more range, and I think that'd be perfect. I think he would be a good Nightwing, honestly. I don't think he's going to get it, though. James, Society of Snyder, again, he asks, how much do you think streaming services like Netflix creating their own content and skipping the traditional theatrical releases is going to impact cinema? It's going to impact it because we're lazy as fuck. We're turning into the fat people in WALL-E. We don't want to move. We just want to have stuff that transports us and we could just constantly eat and sit on our asses. I don't fully like it. I love going to the movies. I love it when the lights go down. I turn my phone on airplane mode all the time. You cannot contact me during a movie. I disconnect from everything. I turn on airplane mode and I just leave it like that. And I love watching movies on the big screen. So, yeah, it will have an impact, but I don't want it to have a big impact. That's for sure. Russ Barnes, Ayers, the first to be Snydered. Fumiyama, Flash director, original, pushed out, all by Johns? Question mark. First off, Ayer wasn't the first to be Snydered. Snyder was the first to be Snydered. Batman vs Superman, they gave him shit for that. That's why that theatrical cut doesn't work as well as the ultimate cut. And what's sad is there's even a longer cut out there. Maybe something like 3 hours and 15 minutes. But, I'm just saying that Snyder was the first to be Snydered, okay? Don't say that Ayers was. Ayers was after Snyder. I would say that Johns, he has this way. Look at, he helped the Wonder Woman and that worked out. But look at Green Lantern, look at Justice League. Oh, yeah, you're going to revise your list on Superman. Fuck off, you dumbass. You Jesus Christ. Fuck. Sorry. Just frustrates me, the shit I've heard with him. And I always backed him up. I defended that guy because I thought he would be a great addition to all this shit. But no. Micah Harsha. After Han Solo, what character would you like to see Disney focus on? Or should we stick to the episodes only? Now, bring me all the Star Wars you want. And of course, I'm going to say Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're already talking about, yes, that movie's going to happen. Bring back Ewan McGregor. Dude, I even want a Darth Vader solo movie. And a lot of people go, he's already had movies by him. No, I'm talking about something different. That doesn't touch all that. After that scene in Rogue One, I just wanted more of a I wanted more. Ugh. I wanted more of that, but who knows? I'm Edson. Asks, if you were hired to run DC comic movies, which they should, goddammit, after the events of Justice League, what are 3 things you would change? You're fired! You're fired! You're fired too, Mr. Ballcap! Go write some comic books! Now, I would just say, like, hey, stop it. Stop fucking with this. Okay? Rearrange. We have storyboards right here in all these comic books. Okay? That people love. Now let's put a unique spin on it. And hopefully Haramba does a good job with that. Michael Minette. He asks, is it me? Or are there similarities between Snyder's Justice League and Trank's Fantastic Four? What I mean is the studio interference, obvious reshoots. Oh yeah, definite parallels. And like I even said when I reviewed Fantastic Four back in 2015, I said there's a good movie in here somewhere. There are little shots, and like the biggest one was when Reed Richards wakes up on the bed and he starts freaking out because he's stretching and shit like that. It's something out of a horror movie, and it's just, there is a good movie in there somewhere. There's a really good movie in there somewhere. And Trank, I think, got fucked with pretty badly by Fox. It'd be awesome if we got the Trank cut. I'd want to see that. Because there was all kinds of shit. There was like the fantastic car and everything. And the little robot dude that they were like doing, like, I don't know. Who knows, man? It's crazy. Anyways, that's all the questions right there. Oh, somebody's... okay. All right. Yeah, that's all the questions right there. Appreciate everything, guys. Thanks for listening. Like I said, if you want to just hit me up on anything, Twitter is the best one. If you want to ask me a question, then I'll answer on here. And I'm going to try to do this at a weekly basis. And I'm going to try to bring back the live broadcast, too, as well. Just be patient. It's just going to be difficult at times. But I appreciate you guys listening. And, yeah, I love you. All right? Talk to you later.